What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at another wonderful training shoe from the Nike brand. Some of you may be fans of Nike Metcon line, some of you may not be fans of the Nike Metcon line. But over the years I have become accustomed to really enjoying the stability and overall versatility in the gym by the Metcon line. And this newer release, I found it to be really good for something very specific, as well as what the Metcon line is traditionally good for. And of course, I am talking about the Nike React Metcon Turbo. So we're going to go in depth and take a quick look at it. So stay tuned. So first things first, we will take a look at the construction of the shoe. So it is a little bit different from traditional Nike Metcon models. So starting on the bottom, you do have the dual density rubbers that the Metcon line is known for, a more pliable, softer, sticky rubber on the forefoot, and a much more hard, stiff, and firm, you can hear the difference, in the heel. But what's different here is you have this rubberized, almost TPU type of material that allows a lot of flex that's not traditionally available in the Nike Metcon line, making this for a much more athletic fit and feel of the shoe. It does have a lot of traditional Nike Metcon features, such as the stability. I mean, it's very, very stable for lifts and stuff like that, Olympic lifts and power lifts, which we'll discuss in a little bit. But this is your biggest difference, is it's so much more flexible laterally and in a medial standpoint, and then when you're up on the toes as well, this shoe really flexes, and it, due to this outsole and midfoot design, is really what separates it from every other Metcon release, and including the Nike Metcon Free. This is completely different from everything else they've done. Moving into the midsole, as we work our way up the shoe, here it does have the traditional drop-in midsoles like the Metcon line is known for, except for the newest Nike Metcon 7. But here, it is actually Nike React foam. So the responsiveness is definitely a bit different in this than traditional Nike Metcon models. Yes, the Metcon 7 having a thin layer of React foam in the midsole does have some responsiveness, but here the responsiveness is that much greater because you're standing directly on it. It is a drop-in midsole, which doubles as your actual insole, so you're riding on it the whole time. So you will have that springy, bouncy, responsive feel without being too squishy on the step-in comfort like a running shoe. So the midsole design here is actually very different for traditional Nike Metcon styles. You don't have the firmness, quite as firm anyways, as you do in older setups with the drop-in midsoles, but the responsiveness is next level here, which we'll discuss more when we get into plyometrics and agility. But you do have a nice comfortable ride that's still firm enough, yet very, very responsive. So that's probably the thing that separates this the most as far as its features, is its outsole midsole setup. Then moving in to the upper on the front, it does wrap around to where it meets the toe. So durability doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue. It is a pretty heavy hyperfuse medial and lateral fuse, mainly on the medial side with the check for high wear areas when you're doing toe drag movements and things like that. That's where a majority of your wear would come from, especially doing rope climbs and such. It still rides up the side, and then this is where on your toes and the toe box where it would rub, which I don't do rope climbs, so it doesn't technically affect me, but it's actually a split material design here. As you can see, this fused material running all the way up the lacing system, it's actually this is more of a knit material coming up the medial side, and this is a mesh coming up the lateral side. You can actually probably see my fingers through, not quite, but it's very, very breathable, yet has a very snug, almost sock-like, very athletic feel and fit to these shoes. They actually fit the foot very, very well. I would stick with true to size. The way this is built, there's no wasted space or excess room. It really hugs the foot and is very form fitting. Now, as far as medial and lateral movements, you'll see they have these outriggers, one here on the heel, and it comes out a little bit on the toe box as well. You can see they come to a point. That really helps for stopping and starting with sprints and being up on your toes, and when you go to change direction, you kind of hit the brakes. You're not going to roll the shoe any because you do have those outriggers. So that's something that's a little bit different. Really adds to the stability of the shoe, which, like I said, for being a different design, it has the same tried and true stability with lifting that you would find in previous models of the Nike Metcon. And then with the lacing system, it is a little bit different. You do have these midfoot straps on the lateral side, and then on the medial side, there's this additional material that comes up that wraps underneath below the holes. So lockdown is very, very good in the midfoot, and then the split tongue design actually wraps around the ankle. I love this design. It's very, again, goes right back to that athletic fit and feel for the shoe. Heel cup is nothing too sturdy, but I haven't received any heel slippage whatsoever in the times I've worn this. It actually fits nice and snug around the ankle. It's very contoured to fit most ankle shapes very, very well. And I gotta say, the fit and feel is the best part of this. You don't lose the stability, you do gain some responsiveness, but you add more athletic ability with this shoe from traditional Nike Metcon models. Now, as we get into power movements, so like I was saying in the construction and fit section, you do have that traditional Nike Metcon stability. The outriggers, the dual density rubber, as well as the firm yet responsive drop-in Nike React midsole. So it's not the dual density foam drop-in midsole of the 1 through 6 Metcon models, where you have a slightly softer, more responsive foam from the midfoot to the toe box and a much more dense foam in the heel. Here it's not quite squishy, but more squishy than those traditional Metcon midsoles. So you still have the firmness, yet it's quite responsive. And I don't lift on a level to where I would ever feel compression. I don't squat and deadlift 6, 7, 8, 900 pounds. Nothing even close to that. My working sets don't touch that, so I never feel the compression. It's nice and stable, nice and sturdy from the outsole to the midsole design, and the way this rubberized TPU wraps around, it's very planted. Even when doing deadlifts and as I get heavier, I start to rock into my heels a little bit as I try to push through the ground. It's nice and planted. It doesn't compress. I don't get any side to side movement out of it. It's nice and planted and stable, just like you would expect from previous Nike Metcon models. So when it comes to power movements, your power cleans, your deadlifts, your squats, things like that, you are going to be just as stable and secure in this shoe as you would be in the other Metcon models. It does not lose that for gaining responsiveness with a change in midsole design. Plyometric's agility in running. This is where this shoe shines above the other Metcon models. Going back into what I said about that athletic fit, the start and stop for sprints, being up on your toes, box jumps and plyometrics, medicine ball slams where you're constantly up on your toes. It just, when I put these on, it makes me want to run. It makes me want to jump. It's got a very interesting athletic fit and feel. That's the best part about these shoes, is the responsiveness and the fit and feel. You really feel like you need to be doing something, not just sitting on a bench or not just standing still. These shoes put me in the mood to want to do more agile types of movements, to really get up on my toes and get active and do things that are higher intensity. Lighter runs, no issue. Heel strikes, when I'm running on the treadmill, no trouble whatsoever. I don't feel like I have to stay up on my toes like other Metcon models because of discomfort when you heel strike. No discomfort whatsoever, because it's the thickest layer of the React foam is in the heel. So being up on your toes is one thing, but when you heel strike, it does compress, but it the rebound on this is so grand. That's what's beautiful about the Nike React foam in the first place. The bounce back is very quick, very responsive. So even when you heel strike, it propels you lightly right back into the running position. So heel strikes are no big deal here. This is the one Metcon model that I have no concern whatsoever with on heel strikes. The Metcon 7 doesn't really affect me. It is better than the previous 6, but this is definitely head and shoulders, in my opinion, above all first 7, 1 through 7 of the Metcon models when it comes to shorter runs, sprints, and athletic movements, because of the responsiveness of this React midsole and the fit and feel of this last and outsole. The design on this was just fantastic. I would say, as far as plyometrics, agility, and running, this is the best Metcon model, in my opinion, in my experience. Casual lifts and bodybuilding, as usual, it's going to do just fine. When you're on benches, when you're grabbing dumbbells, you're jumping on barbell lifts, things like that, you're not going to have any issues whatsoever. You're working cables, it's going to be nice and planted, comfortable enough to walk around, and you won't have any discomfort. It is a very low to the ground feel. From what I understand, this is still a 4mm heel to toe drop. So it doesn't sit as high as the 7mm heel to toe drop of the Nike Metcon 7, but it still has the type of comfort, if not a little bit more, of walking around through the gym and doing your different lifts and casual day-to-day walking, like the Metcon 7, where I would say this and the Metcon 7 are the two that I would be comfortable enough without the foot fatigue to walk around throughout the day. Whereas the first 6 was just a little bit more stiff and less forgiving than the React Metcon Turbo or the Metcon 7. So I would put this right up there, if not maybe a little bit better. The outsole design kind of leans it to not be the best option for walking around casually all day. I would think the Metcon 7 is a little bit better for that because of the structure of the outsole and midfoot design. But even here, it's not the end of the world. Casual lifts, casual walking around throughout the day, it'll be fine. But like I said, the one downside to that is, for me personally, it's such an athletic fit and feel that it makes you want to get moving and not just walking around. So it might psychologically get you in the mood to go out for a jog. So I don't really see these being the perfect, ideal situation for a casual day. But you could do a lot worse if you wanted to wear this throughout the day. Pricing, so these are expensive. This is the most expensive Nike Metcon model. These come in at $150 USD. The other ones are in the $130 range, the 7, and then on top of that, you can get older models, the 6 and so on, usually for around $100 or less, depending on where you find them. eBay, Amazon, different not discounters, but different sporting goods stores that carry Metcon models. So this is definitely the priciest, but I feel like these do a specific job while still doing the usual job of the Metcon just as well as the others. This does plyometrics and agility workouts just a bit better, in my opinion. So I can see, as an overall fitness shoe, if you're more in the HIIT style workouts, you do classes, or you do a lot of plyometrics and cardio, where this could be the better shoe for you. Honestly, this is the one that I want to grab when I plan on doing plyometrics or sprints or anything like that. This is the shoe I think of first over the Metcon 7, which I do deem still the best all around of them. It's the most versatile that can do it all. I think this just does the agility workouts better because of that, like I said, again, that athletic fit and feel and the thicker Nike React midsole. It really makes for a difference with the fit and feel. You know, it really changes the game. But do you have to get this one? No. You'll be fine with other Metcon models. I still think, as an overall shoe, the Metcon 7, I feel, is the better overall fitness shoe, the most versatile fitness shoe. But there's no denying how these fit, feel, and the responsiveness. These are definitely the most responsive. If you like a very responsive shoe because you like to do on your toe workouts a lot, this is going to be the choice for you. The React Metcon Turbo will be the ultimate of the Metcon line if that's your style workout. Well, that is my look at the Nike React Metcon Turbo. I appreciate everybody that watched the whole way through to gather my personal experiences and my feelings and thoughts on this shoe. I think it's a great pickup. You can find them from different places. I did pick these up brand new without a box top for $90 on eBay. I mean, you can find them for a great price. You don't have to pay $150. If you shop around, you can find them in the $120 or less range, so you can find them below retail at the recording of this. And I think it's a fantastic shoe overall, like I said many times in this video, especially for plyometric movements, agility workouts, and you know, light runs. I wouldn't want to run a 10K in this, but shorter runs, burst running, sprints, this is going to be the Metcon for you. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So do appreciate all the feedback. Love hearing from you guys. How many of you have trained in the Metcon React Turbo before? What do you think about it? Do you feel the same way? What kind of experiences have you had with this shoe in the gym? Or was this, the information I provided, helpful to help you kind of make a purchase or avoid a purchase with this particular shoe? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on the React Metcon Turbo and you implement this into your workouts, who knows? There's a possibility you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.